Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing cocktail bubbles. And you can see Sleuth there outside at a bar sipping on a cocktail of some sort. I mean, I can't exactly make out what this is. No idea. No idea. I mean, it looks like it's got whiskey, a mint leaf, maybe some orange bitters. Is that even a cocktail, what I'm just coming up with? No clue. I guess it's Monday morning, so what are we going to start with? Cocktail bubbles. In all seriousness, if you are actually tempted by a cocktail on Monday morning, nothing wrong with asking for a bit of help. Anyhow, today's puzzle, I'm not really going to spend much time talking about the image. Let's just take a look, because I'm going to say Uk's drawing of today's puzzle and the reference to the title is actually far better than my thumbnail. So let's just take a look and admire this work. You can clearly see a cocktail glass here of some sort. You can see a straw that's coming out. And for some reason, this cocktail is very effervescent. I don't think I've seen cocktails with bubbles coming out for a long time now. Not really my scene anymore. Right, rules-wise, we've got standard Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Fairly standard. Then we have, of course, the German whispers, usually shown as green lines. Definitely green line in this particular case, which is the glass. Adjacent digits along a green German whisper line must differ by at least 5. So if you imagine that this cell here is a 2, the neighboring digits are going to have to be 7, 8, or 9 to be 5 or more away. If this happened to be a 9, this would have to be 1, 3, or 4, because, can't be a 2. And you oscillate between high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9, low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, and no 5s on German whisper line. Renban lines, usually shown as purple lines. Digits along a Renban must form a set of non-repeating consecutive digits in any order. Now I've pencil marked already a 9. For these 4 cells to not repeat and be a set of non-repeating consecutive digits in any order, essentially I have to put 7, 8, and 6 on here. And it could be in any order. I could have a 6 in here, I could have a 7 in there, and an 8 in here. So 6, 9, 7, 8 clearly is not exactly in order. And that would be fine. Let's see, what else could we continue? Oh, well, kind of stating the obvious. If I put a 5 in here, I've broken this because it's no longer a consecutive line. If I put a second 9 in here, that is clearly repeating a digit that also breaks. So that's one valid solution in here. Then we have the Kropki pairs. So digits in cells separated by a black dot are in a 2 to 1 ratio. So this 2 in here would have to be 1 or 4. And essentially one cell is double the other. And then digits in cells separated by a white dot are consecutive. I don't know how I've managed to come up with this example and avoid coming across any of the white bubbles. So if this is a 2, for it to be consecutive, this would have to be 1 or 3. Not all dots are necessarily given, so an 8 with a 9 in here, that is clearly a white dot because they're consecutive. The absence of it doesn't stop it. A 6 with a 3 in there, a 3 in there? No, I can't do a 3. 3 here. This would be a black dot. 6 is 2 to 1, as in double 3, but no black dot again doesn't stop it from happening. So that's all the rules we have for today. So if you want to... I really should stop it with the alcohol reference. I see I'm going to get defunded in this video. If you don't want to sip this cocktail bubble, but you want to play this puzzle, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. With that said, I'm going to restart the clock, see how I get on. So classic sleuth start would be, this is 2, 4. Just a quick reminder of black Kropki dots. They are powers of 2, so 1, 2, 4, and 8. And there is a second pair, which is 3 and 6. The other digits, which can never be on a black Kropki dot because, a 2 to 1 ratio for these cells in normal Sudoku rules will just not work. If you have 3 of them that have to be unique because they're all in the same column, it has to be one from 1, 2, 4, 8, and it's either 1, 2, 4 or 2, 4, 8, meaning the center digit is 2, 4. Notice in column 1, we actually have 1, 2, 4, 8, and 3, 6. So interesting. So these cells, actually, I'm going to do this whilst I'm here. These are 5, 7, 9s, essentially the non-black Kropki dots. And this certainly could be an 8 and a 4 with a 5 in here. I could also do 3, 6. One thing that I can't do in this setup is 1, 2. Okay. Can I see anything else? I'm just having to think about this, actually. We know that these are 1, 2, 4, 8. If this is 8, 4, that would be 1, 2, which will give us direction on this run of 3 black Kropki dots. And in fact, this here, there's a lot of tension around all of this. You see, the next step that comes to mind is to basically color this and just try and figure out, which is not necessarily a bad idea, by the way, try and figure out polarity on this. I do also remember that box 5 has very few places for a 5 as well. So there's a lot going on in this puzzle. Kind of hard to take it all in. Now I think 1 and 2 in here would be quite difficult, but it could be 2, 1, 3, 4. So that is possible. Just this can't be 1. These are not 1s. But all of these 3 cells could be. Just a bit of a shame. Can it be 3, 6? 3, 4, 5? Yes, it can. Should I be thinking about this cell briefly? I do emphasize briefly. 4, 6, and 8. So all the possibilities. Right, so this cell can't be a 1, otherwise it would be a double 2. If it is 2, that would have to be 1, that would have to be 3, this would have to be 6. Long answer is it's possible, and this would be 8, 4. Why am I deliberately putting it in this direction? Why did I put it just 8 in here and 4 in there? I don't see a problem with 4 and 8 in either direction, actually. Okay, so 2 works. 4 would require 3 and 5. Well, 3 again, and 6 and 5. And then 8 would require 7 and 9. Neither of which can be on the black Kropki dot, so that's not an 8. So I could do 2, 4, 8. I could also do 4, 2, 1 based on this setup. And this is always a 3, this is always a 6. These are clearly no longer 3, 6, that's 4, 8. And therefore one of these is a 5, and then the other one is a 7 or 9. That's not a 5, therefore, and therefore this is not a 4. It's not a 6 either, that's an 8. Unusual break-in, 4, 8 pair means that this is 2, this is 1, this is 4, this is 8. And essentially more 5, 7, 9s in here, which doesn't help us with our Renban. Can it be a 9, 8, 7, 6? Yes. Fascinating puzzle so far. So this is like quite restricted as well now with all of these digits placed. We know that this is not 4, 8. Doesn't even have to be. I mean, let's just move on from that. I had 3, 6 was working. So this could be 3, 6, 2, and 1. If it's 1, it'll be 2, 3, 4. Fine. If it's 3, because that would be a 6, I can't do 2, 1 because of this 1, but I can rise and go 4, 5. And if it is 6, that would be 3. But then I can't do 7, 8 because of this 8. I would have to be 5, 4. So interestingly, there's always a 4 in one of these cells. Because it's either 3, 4 or 4, 5 or 5, 4. Okay. Probably shouldn't ignore the German whisper line for too long. And try and have a look at that next. But it probably isn't the easiest break-in, by the way, what I've done. I'm just enjoying it, so I'm sticking with it. I think, legitimately, I really should be looking at the German whisper line at some point, but let's see if I can get more out of all of these bubbles first. So the challenge is this could be anything. This could be 1, 2, or 3, 6. If this is 1, 2, that would be 3. So that's 3, that's 6. I couldn't have a 3 in here. If this is 3, 6, we've demonstrated that there will always be 4 and 5 because the 3 can't go to 1 and the 6 can't go 7, 8. But it doesn't place any restrictions on the 1, 2. Okay. Where can 1 go in here? So far, all of the remaining cells work. It's just wherever I put a 1, there'll be a 2 next to it. 1 would put a 2, would put a 3, would put a 6. I mean, it'll be, fantastic to move forward from here. 1 would make a 2, would make a 3 again. And then 1 would be a 2 in here. 6 is none of these. 6 is one of these. If that's a 6, that's a 3. If that's a 6, that's a 3. And then that would be 1, 2. That would be 3, 6. And that would be 4, 5. And then that would make this 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I'm going to have to make a move in a second. I say a second right now. Time to walk the dogs. I'll continue this when I'm right back. Right, sorry about that. Let's see if we can pick up where I left. It's been not far off an hour, so I've almost certainly lost my trail of thought here. Eight is down here. Where does 2 go? So I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking I've pencil marked only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if this is 1, 2, this is 3, 4, this is 6. And then essentially I'll be left with 5, 7, 8, 9. And then that would be the 8. And that would be the 5. I'm just going to explore this for a second because these white Kropki dots are suspicious. And I am going to pencil mark it all the way. So that's on the assumption it's 1, that will be 2, that will be 3, that will be 4, that will be 5, that will be 6. This will be 8 because it's between the 7 and 9. The other possibility, of course, is this is 3, 6. And therefore, this would be 4, 5. So 3, 6, 4, 5. Then this would be 1, 2. This would be the other 1, 2, because it's not going to be connected to 7, 8, 9. This is fixed, surprisingly. This is not 2, which would make this not 1 and therefore not 2. Interesting. Hopefully that made sense. Because the only way that this was 1 or 2 was that this is 1 or 2 and this was 3, 6, 4, 5. The 2 eliminated this option, so that would have forced this to be a 2, forced this to be a 3. Getting interesting for sure. Now, let's think about where 2 goes, because it's none of these cells. So it's one of these 2. What's the implication here? If that's 2, that would be 1. And then that would be 3. And then the 6 would have to be in here. No, that doesn't work. You see, I'm just taking a look at, I've got 2 of 5, 7, 9s. The third 5, 7, 9 can't be on any of these cells. So the last 5, 7, 9 has to be in here. So this is not 1, 2. So essentially there's another 5, 7, 9 in there. I'm just going to pencil mark, and I'm pretty sure the answer is to be connected with a white Kropki dot. Yeah, I mean, I know it's not 9 because the 8 is not available. And the 6 would only have to be down here. So technically this cannot be a 7 because this can't be 6 or 8. But the last option that I have is a 4. And the 4 can't be this cell, so that's the 4. So this is always odd? Yeah, because it's not 4, 6, or 8. So this can never be even. Sorry, this is always odd, so this always has to be even. So this is 4 or 6. This is not 2. That is 2. And therefore this can't be the 6. This is 1 or 4. Fascinating puzzle. I am absolutely making this more complicated than it needs to be. I've got 3 of 5, 7, and 9s. This can't be a 5 anymore, so this is 3, 4, 2, 1, and therefore 6, 3, and 5 with another 7, 9, and 1 or 4. Let's think about this. This is 5, 7, 9. What are the remaining digits? I've done all of 5, 7, 9, so this is 1, 4, 6. So this is 1, 4, 6. If it's a 1, it's a 2. If it's a 4, it's 2. It can be an 8. We'll explore that in a second. And if it's 6, it can be 3. So I can't quite fully resolve this, but there's no doubt I've gotten a huge amount out of everything that I've been doing up here. So, German whisper time. Right. Put it off long enough. Clearly this one is quite interesting because it sees 3 cells, but all of these are going to be the same polarity because they oscillate between high and low. Don't know what orange is. I know that all of these are going to be the same polarity. And this is the other setup, purple. So 4 of them are purple already. And you can always remember that the 4 and 6 are quite a struggle because it would require either a double 1 or a double 9. So the purple 4, 6 has to be down here. And then the orange 4, 6 certainly can't be this cell. Can't be this cell either. It could be any of these 3. Right, this is not 4 or 8 or 6. This is 1, 2, 3. If it's a 1, it's 2. If it's a 2, it's 1 or 4. And if it's 3, it can't be 3 because of the 6. Okay. Yeah, that gives me polarity, doesn't it? Was it really necessary to do all of what I've done here to be able to get polarity? Maybe the other way would have been the straw with the Renban, but this feels, yeah, because I could have done 6, 5, 4, 3, so I can actually put a 3 down here. So the Renban almost doesn't work, like almost gives it to you. Imagine if I pressed it as much as I've done with everything else, this would have also worked. That gives me not an 8. This can still be a 4 because this can be a 2. And this is 1, 2, or 3. One of these cells is a 3, this one or this one. So this is 8 or 9. So this is a reasonably high Renban now, because the lowest I can get away with now is 8, 7, 6, and 5. What else can I do? This cell here can't be that high, realistically. I could do 1, 2, 3 with an 8, 9 pair. This is only 1, 2 because it sees 3 unique ones. That's a 1, 2, 3 triplet in column 5. That's not a 1. That's a 4, 6 pair. That is a 1. Eight is one of these 2. We know that. What else do I know? I know that 6 can't be up here because I can't have a double 1. So one of these is 6, requiring a double 1. So one of these is a 1, and this one is definitely a 1. This is definitely a 2. This is now legitimately 7, 8, 9 because you can't place a 6 next to any of them. And one of these is a 6. kind of thinking once we resolve this, we'll determine. And this is 7, 8, 9. Is it going to come down to the Renban? Let's think about this. So what are the remaining options that I have? I've done, no, that 2 gave me a 3 in here. This is an 8, 9 pair. This is a 6, 7 pair. And essentially the 1s and 2s will be resolved by these at some point. Sorry, I got distracted. Actually, that gave me a 6 in here. Therefore, this is a 4, which can only be a 5. Not a 5, not a 5. 7, 9 pair. That is the 5. Therefore, this is the 4. This is the 8, which could be connected to either. Same here. So we're going to rely on something else to help us resolve these. And that's not a 5. This is 7, 9. So what can this be? Because essentially I have a 7, 8, 9 and a 5 that's loose. This can't be 7, 8, 9. That is a 5. Therefore, this is 7, 8, 9. And this is a maximum Renban. It's 9, 8, 7, 6. I've broken something though. Yes, I've broken something because I forgot about the 4. And the fact that I've already placed an 8. So ignore that. There is no more 7, 9s down here. It's 4, 5 pair. That, given there is no 5 anywhere else, tells me that this is definitely a 5. This is definitely the 4. And to get to this, I need 5, 6, 7, and 8. And the only one of these two that can be an 8 is this cell. Therefore, this is the 7. That's the 9. That 7 gives me a 9, 7. These two are not resolved still. Again, I'm going to say, no doubt I've taken the hard way here. But I'm enjoying it, so go figure. 8 gives me a 9 here. These two cells are now known. They are 2 and 4. That 4 gives me a resolution. That's 2, that's 4. This is 3, 5. This is just 5. This is either. And this is 1, 3. And it's not resolved. Okay. Still not resolved. But I mean, if it's 2, that can't be 1. Because what would this be? So it's 1, 2, 3, or 2, 4, 3, or 5, and it's not a 5. It's always 3. This is always 5 then. There's always a 2 between these. Come on, where else are we going? Not an 8. That's another 7, 9. This is another 1, 3. That's 7, 8, 9 done. That's a 6. That's the only place for a 6, which gives me 7, 6, 1, 2, 4. Lovely. Not resolved. I guess, again, looking for something external to resolve it. These two cells, how are we for time? Coming up to 20 minutes. Not 1 or 2. This is 3 or 4. Therefore, this is definitely the 9. This is the 7. This is the 8. This is not 2 or 4. This is 1 or 3, both of which work next to the 8. Same for the 3, 4, both of which work next to the 9. And the 9 gave me the 7 up there and the 9 here. So the 7, 9s up on rows 1s, 2, 3 are all done now. Only place for a 1 in this row is in here. Need a 2, 9. That's the 9, that's the 2 because of this 9. Let's just carry on with a bit of Sudoku here because we've basically done almost all of the variant except for this white, these two. So let's just quickly solve these. 3 can't be here. 3 is none of these because it couldn't be next to the 2 or 4. Then I have 5, 6, 7. The 6 has to be in here and it's not a 5. This is 6, 7. That's the 5. Then I have a 6, 7 pair in here, and then an 8, 9 pair that is resolved with an 8 and a 9 because of this 9. These 6, 7s are also resolved, and that's 7, that's 6. Rest of this, we need another 1, 3, plus a 9. This can't be the 9 because this can't be an 8, so that's the 9. That's another 1, 3. It's a 1, it's 2. If it's a 3, it's still 2. That's always a 2. 4 was not available. There's another 6, 7, and a 5 not resolved. Okay. Where else am I looking? These two, actually that 3 gave me a 4. And these two are 5, 6. That's 6, that's 5. Does that help me with my 5s in here? Yes, it has. That's 5, 5 if I can type. 6 can only be in here now in this box because of these 6s, which gives me 7 and 6. Right, we're on the home stretch now. Unless, of course, I made a mistake. 7 in here. I need a 4 and I need an 8. Other side, I need another 1, 3 and a 4. Not a 4, a 2. And 3 and 1 and 3 and 1 and 3. Where is 1 going? Can only be in here. I need 7, which is there. 8 and 9 for the finish. Beautiful puzzle look. I'm fairly curious if there's an easier solution path. Fairly confident there's an easier solution path than the shenanigans I've did up there. So I really think that most of you are probably going to have looked at the polarity of the German whisper line first, realized that this would have to be a 3 for it to be a low with the 6 that's up here. But hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle. I absolutely did, and the video. And see you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.